All right. Welcome, everyone. I'm glad you're here listening on the podcast or on YouTube. We have a guest, David Mahula. He is from RDI Training Group. He has extensive experience in firearms training, former Marine Recon, current law enforcement officer, and just more training than I can even spout off in the introduction. I'll let him do that. He's the training director for RDI Training Group. David, nice to have you on. Thanks for coming, man.
Absolutely, pleasure to be here. Thank you.
So go ahead, run us through your background. What got you into this? How'd you get started? And man, this is an extensive resume I got here in front of me. So walk me through it a bit.
No worries. I started out in the Marine Corps. I joined at 18, early 2001. From there, went to a what they call a RIP program at the time to get ready for the reconnaissance side of the house, going to the school. Went through all that, did a deployment, came back, and that's kind of where my, I guess, instructor or training side of the house started to take hold. Jumped in on the what was at the time the RIP program and kind of evolved into a much larger program to where training guys prior to the schoolhouse to where we eventually had a 100% graduation rate of everybody we sent to the schoolhouse, um, which was really cool to see on that side of the house. Big Marine Corps took notice, and it was eventually adopted by the Marine Corps into a straight pipeline for the reconnaissance community, which was pretty cool.
Nice.
I
And you
said,
were on the ground floor for all of that.
yeah, I was part of it.
Good
Absolutely.
stuff. Good stuff. And
So,
then that transition, so you got out, you did quite a few tours over in the Middle East, and
yeah,
then you got out and you became a Leo.
yep. So yeah, Marine Corps, a couple tours there. I was also still primary marksmanship instructor, where the weapon side of the house came in. Went into the LE side of the house, spent a little bit of time on patrol, and then I spent another 9 years on. Um, they're all kind of the same thing, but the name changed a lot. It went from problem-oriented policing to gang unit to street crimes unit, but same concept all there. So more of a specialized unit on the police department side of the house.
Whoever decided
Um,
to rewrite the policy wanted to
abs-
wanted to throw their name change in there.
Absolutely. Uh, and then still picked it up there as well. The specialized unit, we ran a lot of warrant type stuff and looking for actual big time bad guys. So I ran a lot of the training for some of those units as well. A lot of the firearm stuff on that side of the house. And then uh, about 3.5 years ago now, switched over to full time at the academy, and I teach fire. That's basically all I do now is teach firearms for the entire department, cadets, all the way to seasoned officers.
Good stuff. Well, listen, thank you for your service both in the military and law enforcement. As prior military and law enforcement, I thank you, and I know the everyone listening does as well. We
Oh,
definitely love supporting our military and then our boys in blue and gals in blue as well. Um, all right, so you're working as a full-time Leo, running pretty much the training department over there, and then you're jumping in and you're assisting and now directing the training over at RDI.
yes.
You're wearing both hats. How are they overlapping? How are you holding that down?
Uh, it's busy, but no, it's pretty good. I said a lot of my experience with the department day in and day out, basically. Uh, every day with different types of students, different problems, absolutely translates onto the private sector or teaching civilians or security or even military, whoever else, other law enforcement agencies at RDI. So it translates back and forth pretty easily. Really, the hard thing now is trying to get some good quality instructors to jump on board and kind of follow the same mindset of training and the mindset of how things are done. Enough that way, not the old LE side of the house where some of the things were kind of never fully agreed with.
Yeah. Yeah, I can get behind what you're saying there, definitely. Yeah, I can relate. We've been trying for a while, trying to secure a few positions for our medical side of the house to just get some employees in there. And we've just been at this point, we've just been using contractors just to facilitate our courses, or a lot of our courses for that aspect. So I hear you. It's I don't know what's going on in the world right now, but it's definitely hard to find people
Absolutely.
who, one, want to work, and two, have the capabilities and the experience to do the type of work we're talking about. So
Yes.
that makes it even more difficult. All right. I'm looking at your resume here, and as I said before, it's extensive. It's really extensive. And anyone, all the links will be up in the description, everyone. If you guys want to check it out, it's realitydefense.net. You'll see David's pretty much his resume up there, and you'll have to read it 3 times just to make sure you caught it all. But so you get into Leo, you've been doing Leo for a while. You start with RDI and you're doing training there, and you guys are just a full-on training group. You don't allow, as you were telling me before, it's not an open range setup, and this range is nice for everyone listening. If you're in Pleasanton, Texas, did I get that right?
Yeah, we're just south of San Antonio.
If you're out that way, you're going to want to take a course just to see this range. It is immaculate in my opinion. One of the better ranges I've seen, and I keep seeing this out west. Is I guess it's just all that open land you all got. You set up some really nice ranges out there. But
Oh, yes.
if you're out in Pleasanton, Texas, take a look, everybody. We'll get back to that here in a bit. So you're out there, you're training. Like I said, you don't allow an open range, but you guys offer training courses to civilians, not just military or law enforcement or security, but to civilians. So if someone wanted to sign up for a course or go about that way, what's the best way to reach out to you? Is it via calling you all and seeing what courses are coming up, or just checking the website?
So yeah, everything's listed on the website on the courses that we currently offer. And then if there's a scheduled events page on what's currently scheduled. So if you see something that doesn't correspond to a course that you want to take that's not on a scheduled events page just yet, it will be. Or if you want to get a group together and host that specific course, we can teach private courses as well based on either one of the courses we currently offer or something specific that you're looking for. We can tailor that to a group style training event as well.
Nice, nice. You
So
guys get many bachelor parties come out your way?
not too many, not too
How
many.
about bachelorette parties? Listen, women can shoot. I'm telling you.
There are some great ones, especially in this area now. There's a lot of them up and coming.
Um, every time I put doesn't matter what type of gun or firearm into a female's hands,
Hmm.
I watch her smoke check all the men on the firing line, and I get to laugh at them every single time.
I think they pay attention more.
Yeah, probably. Or they're just have that much tenacity that they just want to beat all the guys, which I respect. So I, or not me, but say someone's coming out, they're taking a course, or they sign up for one of your guys' course. The thing we were mentioning before is I run into this a lot, especially in indoor ranges, but just in general, in a lot of ranges out my way, due to insurance and legal liability. Your training's limited. I mean, you're really out there shooting marksmanship if
Hmm.
if that's what you're doing. I mean, if you're actually shooting marksmanship and just not wasting,
Wasting bullets.
30 cents every time you pull the trigger. But you're not allowed to do holster draws. You
Hmm.
can't do movement drills. Nothing kneeling, prone, or anything, nothing from a barricade. Y'all just alleviate all that. All that is available at your training compound, as long as they're taking one of your courses.
Absolutely. The way the range is set up, we have pretty much full 360 firing at two of the bays. We have a long distance bay out to 500 yards as well. Uh, Movement, different positional shooting behind barricades. We do vehicle work in and out of vehicles, through vehicles, low light training. we're currently working on a shoot house being built out there for some simunition, CQB training, things of
Good
that
stuff.
nature as well. So
Nice. If what's your take on these type of, what's the term I'm looking for? These type of training drills when it comes to civilian application. So I say, how often, if I'm going to take, a law enforcement, a special weapons unit or SWAT team's training style, and then teach it to civilians as a legal instructor, that's the last thing I want to do. I'm trying to teach people, hey, if you're going to use as for a civilian, if you're going to use your firearm in self-defense, the last thing you want to be doing is really charging. Now, for survival, that might be a different story, but for legality, the last thing you want to be doing is charging towards your threat. How do you guys balance that medium?
So some of our intro courses really talk heavily about the legality side of things and how to utilize a firearm, self-defense, things of that nature. And then you get into the more, for lack of a better term, the high-speed training that everyone really enjoys going to. That's what they want to do. And it's just what we like to call, you get a skill set. The more you are advanced in a skill set, the better off you'll be, regardless of the situation. So the better you are able to make decisions under stressful situations, things of that nature. And the more and more you do that, the better, more confident you feel about that, the more than likely better outcome you're going to have if something were to happen. That's kind of the way we talk about it. And
nice having all the tools in the toolbox and you deciding
Absolutely.
which ones you need to use at that point given the situation.
Yes,
I like it. That's a good way to look at it. I mean, it completely blows my question actually out of the water at that point in time, because you can, as I said, the legality, that might not be what you want to do legally if I put you on a stand, but at the same point, at the end of the day, if you don't know how to do it, it's not going to do anything for you anyway. So you might as well know how to do it and then choose whether or not you need to utilize it or not. I can definitely get behind that. All right. I mentioned this to you a little bit earlier. You got all these rising prices of everything. Gas is going up. I don't know what it is out there, but I think it just hit $4.20 here on the eastern side, or the western side of North Carolina.
We're right at $4 right now.
Yeah. So you have gas going up. Ammo is still through the roof. I guess if you're shooting 9 mil, you can probably get, if you know somebody, you can get 9 mil for maybe 31 cents to 40 cents a round. Range fees. I don't know about you guys if your range fees have went up, but a lot of the range fees in my local area have went up. What do you say to these shooters that want to get training? 11.2 million new gun owners in the last 3 years, from 2019 to 2021, not even counting 2022 yet. And those are, according to the ATF, brand new, never owned a gun before.
Huge numbers.
Not to mention over 50 million firearms sold a year here in the US. They're out there, new operators are buying them. How do you alleviate these training costs that they're going to hit when they're saying, hey, I really want to get some training. I feel like I need some training. I feel like it's the safe bet to do, but I'm stuck financially.
So a lot of the stuff we do, and even on all of our courses, our prices are pretty reasonable and below most firearms courses, depending on what it is you're looking for. So we do try to keep them low. Like I said, our original intent, the original way the company was started, was for law enforcement officers, and we all know there's a few things that officers are better at than being cheap.
Yes, that is true.
So that's the way the company was originally intended, and they've kind of kept that cost down all the way through on the civilian side of the house as well. The prices are back and forth the same.
Yeah. Do you ever recommend, not necessarily follow-up training? Well, of course, follow-up training, always get more follow-up training, but do you recommend training at home, any dry fire techniques?
Absolutely.
Yeah, just to kind of reaffirm what you may teach people during
Yes.
your course.
Yes. So same thing, like during the course, I talk heavily about the continuing education. Take what you can from the course, take notes and things of that nature. You're going to see improvement over the course while you're there. Um, but if you don't continue it, if you don't continue to train in certain methods or techniques that were taught, you're not going to go anywhere with it. You're not going to get any better. Um, Highly preach a dry fire and things of that nature. We do have dry fire training programs that are, depending on the courses that you're going to and what you're looking for, that are handed out to students based on what they're wanting to learn and what they're wanting to get better at and things of that nature as well.
Fantastic.
So,
What's something you really try to push home to your new shooters? Something that you really want to, that if they take anything home, safety, of course, we all know
yeah.
safety, but what's a skill or a best practice you really want them to take home with them when they leave one of your courses?
Uh, Probably I wouldn't call it a skill, but the passion for it is what I would say, is the continue to get better and hone a skill set, especially if it's something that you are depending on or are worried about in that your day-to-day life that you may need to utilize one day. Is to hone your skill sets to the point to where you're confident enough in them to utilize them in that situation. Kind of what we talked about earlier, and
Mhm.
just that continuing education side of the house is always go out there. There's as we all know, there's not a whole lot of stuff in the firearms world that's being reinvented or really new. It's just where you're going to get it from. Of course, I'm going to love people to come to us, but
And
I
they
want to
should
say,
with this facility y'all have.
I'm going to say, get it where you can for sure. Uh, and then take that and continue to practice it on your own. And then you build up to a certain skill set, you hit a plateau or whatever, go out and seek something else, seek something a little higher, see what you missed last time and continue there on.
Now, how do you feel about getting um, adjacent training, such as you're a TAC med instructor as well. So
Mhm.
how do you feel about people teaching them how to punch those holes? How about plugging them?
Oh, I absolutely. If you can punch holes, you definitely got to be able to plug them as well.
Yeah.
And not only that, I speak from personal experience. So I went I went through the TAC Med program early on in the Marine Corps. It followed me over into the LE side of the house as well, doing basically trauma medicine, things of that nature. So about 3 years ago, I was in a pretty bad motorcycle accident and ended up uh, left leg amputation at the knee, but broken femur, compound fracture through basically self-applied tourniquet on scene. Did a lot of self-aid prior to EMS arriving, things of that nature. So I'm a huge proponent on the medical side of the house as well.
Well, we're sorry to hear about the accident, but we're
Yeah.
really glad that you had the training to work through it. I can attest to that. I haven't had to apply it to myself, but having to do a helo rescue when my helicopter crashed, had to apply some heavy medical to a teammate of mine overseas, and then as well as a Leo, one of my worst calls was a motorcycle accident, and when I got to the guy, blood was coming from everywhere, and it
Mhm.
was one of those things where I just started tourniqueting limbs, just to stop the bleeding, and he had two lacerated femoral arteries from his bones cutting them from his femurs,
Oh yeah,
cutting right through. So
yeah.
it go ahead.
Yeah, I'll say it's absolutely a thing that you need to learn as well. We work pretty closely with another company. Um, the owner of that company started the TAC Med program for our department, and he's gone on to have a private company as well. Great instructor that we work closely with, teaches a lot of our medical classes, and then several other instructors are not only part of that, but also like active trauma nurses in the ER and things of that nature. So a lot of experience coming from that side of the house.
That's great. Great. So you're actually getting, so they're keeping proficient on everything that's coming out
Absolutely.
and things along those lines. That's,
Yep.
you can't get better than that. It's always nice when you can build that bridge between those two professions where you get the, the ER side, because nurses can do a lot in the hospital with all the hospital gear. And then you got the EMTs or EMS have to do all that with limited gear. And then you got, first responders such as fire or Leos. Well, fire has a lot of the gear too, but Leos do not have a lot of the gear. And to be able to build that bridge all the way from the ER nurse all the way to the Leo realm, that's something you want to see every day, but you're not seeing it in every department or every city. But sounds like
Absolutely.
y'all are doing it the right way out there. All right. We've kind of covered a lot already. We've kind of bounced back and forth here.
No worries.
You guys have some courses coming up. You're teaching a TCOL instructor course here next Monday. You were telling me about. Is that course already booked up, or do you all still have space for that one?
We have, I want to say we got 3 more spots available for that course.
Okay.
It's, like I said, it's specific to law enforcement. Unfortunately, that one is. So it's the state certification for LEO as a firearms instructor. And we've kind of taken that course above and beyond the TCOL recommendations, as I like to call them. I'm sure you know, state agency requirements are like the bare minimum standards on a lot of things. And something we do take pride in is our course curriculum, and we've definitely taken that and made that standard coming out a lot higher than your average instructor for sure, or your LE instructor. Kind of give them that same, pushing them into that training mindset on what to expect and what to look for and what you should be doing as an instructor. A lot of methodology and things of that nature, and how you should always progress and what to look for. Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong when you say most state courses are, I don't want to say the bare minimum, but they're the state standard. And then when you have all the experience you do at RDI and then your training team, because I went through their resumes as well, pretty much. I'm not surprised that you guys have kind of compounded on top of the basics and probably grown a great course. I should probably come out and take one with you all here soon, just so I can advocate for you all a little bit more. But you got that coming up. This podcast is going to be out on May 12th. So if you're hearing this May 12th before the following Monday after that, then sign up for the course over there. You got another one. You got a TACP course on June 4th as well. And you got some space in that. And then you have a few plainclothes courses or concealed carry courses coming up and things along those lines. If anyone is out in the Pleasanton area of Texas, you're going to want to take these courses. Trust me, they are, the facilities are second to none, just based on what I can see from their drone video footage that they have on their website, and their website link, as I said before, and their Facebook link will all be on there. Everyone share and like their Facebook page. Definitely. You're going to want to boost these numbers as far as you can. Not that you're hurting for numbers on it as I'm looking at it right now, but everyone you're going to want to follow. Everyone's following it for a reason. You're going to want to follow as well. So, David, all this training that y'all are doing, like I said, you're still teaching new cadets, or I shouldn't even say cadets, but new officers every single day. As you're doing this, as you're going through all this training, where do you really feel your passion? Is it working with the Leos? Is it working with civilians? Or is it just seeing that click when they finally get it? And there's always that click.
Yes, and that's probably where I would say the most of my passion's at. I've always had a passion for shooting in general. I really took to the instruction side of the house and kind of gained a lot from there. That those that will take a course and they see kind of, okay, they start to learn and apply the techniques or apply a certain skill set to them, and then they're like, all of a sudden they jump headfirst into it, and I see them at every single class from here on out. Always great to do, work with those people as well. But real big into changing kind of the mindset on the professional side, on the way law enforcement training was done, for a long time. So when I originally went on to being a fire instructor at the academy, the program hadn't really changed a lot the 15 years prior to when I came on.
Yeah.
And just over the past 3 years, we've gotten some really good guys that share similar mindsets on the way training is done, on the way skill sets are developed. A lot of us have gotten into like adult learning programs and how to develop those skill sets in adult learners, and then taking it kind of not a complete 180, but a lot of changes over the past
a good 90-degree angle on some of it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's starting to show extensively. We've got a cadet class that just finished up, and the skill set between that class and the previous class has dramatically increased, with weapons handling, their marksmanship skills, and their decision-making processes along the way.
Which is always the most important out there as a Leo. I can attest to that.
And then we're taking that, and like I said, most of the guys I work with on the department are also instructors at RDI, and we take that whole methodology onto the civilian side as well.
Man, I feel like I could keep you on here for 3 hours and just pick your brain on all the information you have. I don't think my team would like to upload 3 hours of content, but they would probably break it down into smaller bits. But listen, everyone, David Mahula from RDI Training Group, former Marine Recon, current Leo training coordinator over at his department, and the training director for RDI Training Group. If you all are in the area and any of classes you want to take or any of the courses that they have going on, you need to go check them out and see everything they have, just to go tour their facility. Because I'm just, like I said, their facility blows my mind at this point. I need that facility in my life.
Come on, David, down anytime.
Yeah, I can't thank you enough for taking some time out of your day. Obviously, I know it's busy. You are wearing many hats these days, but thanks for taking the time, coming on, sharing some of your knowledge here with some of the new firearm owners out there, and new shooters, and even more experienced shooters and enthusiasts. So we appreciate it. As I said before, all the links for RDI training will be in the descriptions below, whether you're listening on the podcast or YouTube. As always, like, share, subscribe, and we will see you all soon. David, thanks again for being on. I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Really appreciate it.